Hello everyone, this is CJNovo982 and today we are back for another brand new video. Today's video is going to be another brand new episode of the Player Focus series. Now if you've followed this channel for a very long time, especially during last season, you would have known that we've done this quite a lot on the channel. We broke down so many players, potential signings, players at the club, etc, etc. This season we actually haven't done so many, we've actually only done 4. One right at the very start of the season where I broke down Glenn Middleton and I predicted him to be the young player of the year. Next player that we actually looked at was Alfredo Morelos, comparing him to last season and what he's doing differently to be the Buffalo Soldier that he is. And obviously the most recent two have been Tom Evis, which was obviously reported by Sky Sports, and Mr. Solanke himself, seeing if the loan is going to be potentially worth it. And if I'm honest with you, the support in the series has been absolutely tremendous, so we are back for another brand new episode of the Player Focus series, and by far the most requested name on this channel this year is Lawrence Shankland. So he is going to be the player of today's episode, and as always a friendly reminder, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel and help us get to that 24k dream. But that's it, intro, monologue, whatever you want to call it, done and dusted. Let's dive into today's video then, shall we? 3, 2, 1. Lawrence Shankland, that is the man we're going to be discussing today. He is 23 years old, standing at 6 feet tall. He has actually bounced between clubs. Obviously the most notable club that he has played for is going to be Aberdeen, and he's actually played a full campaign for them in the top flight, which we will speak on later on today's video. You might be wondering yourself, who is Shankland now? What's he up to? Why is he heavily linked with the Glasgow Rangers? It's a simple and easy question to answer. The man scoring goals for absolute fun. Now he does play in the Championship, obviously for High Flying Air, who sits second in the league. Obviously he's a former Rangers man as well. He used to play for us a very long time ago. He spent about 10 months at the club at a younger age, and he's obviously been asked, would you join Rangers, would you join Celtic, etc, etc, and the key phrase that he dropped with the Daily Mirror is he has unfinished business, which you can imagine sparked the transfer rumours even more. So it's no longer just fans wanting it, it's in the media, it's doing the rounds, and clearly it looks like Shank himself wants to come back to the famous. Before we actually break down any of the man's stats, however, we need to address the one negative, which is clear and obvious, something that's officially came from the club Ayr, saying if any clubs want to come in and buy him, they have to agree to loan Shankland back to Ayr for the rest of the season. On. Ayr sitting in second place, obviously 3 points off the top, but they have a game in hand, and Shankland could play that crucial role in scoring them the goals to get to the top division. So if any club like Glasgow Rangers wants to sign him in the January transfer window, they need to agree to loan him back for the rest of the season. But now we have hinted enough about these goal scoring exploits, so let's break it down and have a little look at it. The man in the league, in the Championship, has scored 18 goals in 17 games, which is absolutely incredible. And he actually has a respectable 4 assists in the league, but the most impressive part of his stats in league football is going to be his goal to game ratio. It is a goal every 84 minutes, so if he's playing, he's scoring. But taking a step back from the Championship, let's look at what he's managed to do throughout the first half of the season. The man has played 25 games, he scored 28 goals, and his goal to game ratio throughout the entirety of the first half of the season is a goal every 76 minutes. And I've actually went even further back, because I know there's going to be some people questioning his time at Aberdeen, but he was extremely young, kind of thrusted into the first team. He didn't score many goals, he played a lot of games, but he learned the hard way. If you look at what he's managed to do as a striker throughout his entire career, not starting at left wing like he did at Aberdeen, sometimes out in the wing, anything like that, if you just focus on the striking position, he's played 119 games throughout his career, scored 79 goals and assisted 29 times. These stats are just absolutely disgusting. But as you can imagine, because he plays in a lower league, there's been a lot of comparisons with a former lower league Scottish hitman that we signed by the name of Nicky Clark. The man hit 46 goals in 41 games, getting 11 assists during that season in League One with Queen of the Saints before we signed him. And obviously never hit the heights, and never sort of translated that form to the famous. But I think there is a clear distinction between Shankland and Nicky Clark, and it is just the league above. I know that might be quite simple to sort of view it. League One is obviously a lot lower, and I think the Championship, especially this season and maybe the last 2 or 3 seasons, is actually an extremely tough league to score in, and you just can't deny these stats. It's absolutely frightening. If you do want to compare him with another striker that's played in the Championship, instead of focus on Nicky Clark and how he failed at Rangers, etc., I think it's best to actually look at Jason Cummins' time in the Championship with Hibs. Now, the jury's still out about Jason Cummins' time at Rangers. There's been a lot said about him being played out of position or through into games playing a certain amount of minutes under the wrong manager, under the wrong playstyle. That is completely fair and up for debate, but what isn't up to debate is what he managed to do in the Championship was absolutely incredible. In a 3-year spell, the man played 97 games and scored a beautiful 55 goals. Chipping in with 19 assists as well. That is a much better comparison to Shankland, but once again, Shankland throughout this part of the season has scored more goals in the Championship than Jason Cummins managed in the 3 seasons he was there, and it's not even January yet. So I'm sort of reaching the final part of my side. Hopefully I've broke down the actual player itself and given you a much better view of who Shankland is, because I can imagine if you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, you're seeing his name branded around everywhere. So that is Shankland down in a nutshell, and I think it's much better to compare him with a Jason Cummins type player rather than Nicky Clark, because he's sort of got that kind of unfair tag of being a massive flop, but the guy came from League One, not the Championship. And I know Scottish football gets a bad rep in its tin pot, but I think there is a massive difference between League One and the Championship. On the flip side of that, clearly there is a massive difference as well from the Championship to the top flight. But until he tries it, until he's there now, when he's a better player, he's older, we're just going to never know if he can translate the goal scoring form to the top division, because the man has got the clear confidence, he's got that bit of swagger about him, but in the right way. He looks focused and determined. He doesn't get involved in stuff off the field, you never hear about that. He doesn't do anything silly. The man is a hard working individual, and he's clearly got something about him. Now, before we actually jump over and get the people's opinion, and before I even ask you for your opinions in the video, there is one other little curveball I want to throw into this video, because there's Shankland's getting a lot of love. We're going to find out if the people want him, but in my head, I look at Ryan Hardy. He scored a lot of goals in the Championship, right? He's now been loaned out to Livingston in our league. Yes, he hasn't played as many games as we obviously hoped at the start of the season, but that isn't his fault. It wasn't due to bad form. It's because of a serious injury. And since the man's actually came back, he's played 6 games. He scored 4 goals, and 2 of those appearances were from the bench. And obviously it's my favourite stat, the goal to game ratio for Ryan Hardy in the top flight. He's ready, he's younger, he's 2 years younger in fact, is a goal every 85 minutes. So as excited and everything like that as we are about Shankland, etc., these other players that scoring a lot of goals, we've got one of our own who's 2 years younger. He's 21 years old, comfortable on both sides, got ice in his veins, and he's doing it in the top division. So why not save our money? I know it's not going to be a lot of money. It's around about £250,000 to £400,000. That is what's rumoured to what it takes to get Shankland away. But why not bring back Hardy and use whatever budget we have on getting what we really need? And that's a creative midfielder. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. To give you my final thoughts very quickly, I'd much rather bring Ryan Hardy back. But if I could, I'd rather bring them both to the club. I'd sign Shankland in January, loan him back, bring Hardy back in January. Then from the next season onward, we need to find out what's happening with Lafferty, because he's obviously getting a year older. Then we've got 2 young, prolific goal scorers at the club, and I think that would set us up for the future instead of always looking a wee bit short-sighted with our signings. But that is just my opinion, and this channel isn't about me, it's about the nation. So get involved in the comment section below. Now that I've broke it down, what you thinking, what do we need, and what do you think of Mr. Shankland himself? Now it's time to jump over to Twitter and see what those weird and wonderful people are saying. As always, we fired up a poll on Twitter. It's got 998 votes with 29 minutes remaining. That's absolutely incredible. Can we try and beat 998 likes on this video? That'd be cheeky. Come on, let's try and do it. Anyway, the people votes 33% in favour of not signing Shankland, but 67% of the people votes for yes, they want Rangers to sign Mr. Shanks. So let's see what people's got to say. Mark Mendes says, good signing for an impact sub, the now and a future player. Jordan says, yes, he'll cost next to nothing and is banging him in for fun and also a blue nose, but I also want Cummins back. I mentioned him, we're in sync. Graham Dirty says, we need quality, not quantity. That's completely fair. Alfredo Cartel chips in with Nicky Clark V2. Hopefully this video sort of debunked that a little bit. Ross Watson just says Wallace, brilliant. Joshua McGinty says worth the punt. Dylan Walker says only if Morelos goes. I've got to be honest with you, as much as I rate Shankland, if we sold Morelos in January and only bring in Shankland, I'd shit myself. The Ready Rangers podcast says any listeners to our pod will know I have been championing the guy for a while. Natural goal scorer, low price, young player who will only get better. Very low risk signing in my opinion. Listening to anyone who has coached him say he's a great Premier League player. Get him in, I say, Dave. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the Ready podcast. Alfredo says, no, we need better. Shankland is doing well, but just because he's doing well for another club doesn't mean anything. Just look at Michael O'Halloran and Jason Cummins. And the last 2 or 3 that we'll read out come from Karen Goodfellow says, recall Hardy if possible. If not, Shankland will definitely add something different up top for us. And the last one we'll actually read out comes from, to make it fair, comes from Bonnie Scott. He says, low risk punt, but still would want someone else in. Just him laughing. Alfie up top still leaves us short. Maybe get Brobes in too so we can play him in the number 10 role. That video is coming very, very soon. But that is it. You've heard the people's opinion. The poll is very in favour of bringing Shankland in, but as you saw from the comments, it is sort of 50-50 split, so it'll be interesting to see what your comments are in today's video. If you would like to support the channel directly, the link for that will obviously be in the description to the Patreon as we're closing in on that new camera. Can't thank you guys enough. It's absolutely incredible, the support. And as always, I've been Siege Novo 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.